Hi friends, thanks for joining me. Today where I'm filming, it's the Monday of a holiday weekend. And what's wonderful about it is it's just super quiet in a place where it would normally be a bit more bustly. Today's class is to fill your cup. It's for those days when you know you want to do something, but your energy levels may not be super high. It's also perfect if you've already done something more energetic and you want a nice stretch routine to kind of walk you through the cool down. 15 minutes with me. No props are needed. Let's start. You lie on your back, and if it's okay for you, you'll bend your knees, step your feet to the mat. Settle in and take a few moments here. You might rest one hand on your belly, one hand on your stomach, or arms alongside. Look, whatever feels good to you right now. And then you'll allow your mind to arrive where your body is. So as you take the next couple of breaths, just observe where and how you feel the breath move your body. Maybe you feel it where the air comes in the nose. Maybe you notice your rib cage moving as the diaphragm expands and contracts. And then on your next inhale, you'll reach the arms up toward the ceiling as you breathe in, and then you'll continue taking the arms overhead as you breathe out. When you inhale, reach the arms up. And for the exhale, continue to float the arms down. If there's an object in the way, maybe shuffle away from it a bit. Inhaling and exhaling. And so it's really waiting for the breath to dictate the movement. You might find there's a pause at the top or the bottom of your breath. And you might notice an urge to rush the movement, that you're used to continuous motion when in fact your body isn't yet ready to inhale. So there's no rules as long as the breath is dictating the movement. It's a visual representation of what your breathing is doing right now, today. We're doing one more full round, and we will finish with the arms overhead. So I've got one more to do. You'll finish on an exhale, and you can breathe normally again now. Extend the legs long, reach through the feet, reach through the arms. And you can open your hands, like I always say jazz hands, but you know, if Broadway musicals aren't your thing, you can think palming a basketball. And then with the right hand, hold the left wrist and tug the left wrist a little bit longer. Reach that left side body a little bit longer than the right side. And if you want to exaggerate this, you could cross your left ankle over your right and even slightly lean or turn to your right side as you pull the left arm long. So we're just slightly lengthening here, breathing. Exhale. Come back to the middle. Other side, if the ankles are crossed, uncross them. Left hand holds the right wrist, tug on the arm. Breathe. Maybe the right ankle crosses over the left, and you might even pick up your head and slightly lean to the left. This is known as banana pose. And then come back to the middle and step the feet back to the mat and hug the knees into the chest. I promised a slow class today. Super gentle, super calm. If you want something faster, there are plenty of fast classes on the site. But sometimes I realize it's better to just assume nothing, move slowly. So as we're rocking side to side, you're getting a little lower back massage. It's nice, there's no hurries, no worries. Make your way though from here into a cross-legged position. Now this could be that you rock along the length of your spine. If you're in the mood for a bit of rocking and rolling, you could do that, or just roll over one side. And any way that you can, let's start with the right shin in front of the left. Hands are on the knees. Lift up through the spine. And then slow little oscillations, just drawing a circle with your torso. You can go faster than me, of course, if you want to get a bit of motion going on. And if you do this with kids, they actually quite enjoy being faster and faster and faster. It's a pretty fun thing to explore the body and its sensations. But if you're here for a bit of chill time, then let's make this very methodical. You can close your eyes. Kind of just get into a rhythm that feels nice for you. And then when you're about to change direction, you want to slow it right down. You don't want to change direction at full speed. And then we're going to rotate in the other direction. And you'll notice the hips. Is there anything tight? Is this an easy situation for you? Is there parts of the body that are clicking? Just observing, checking in. And then we'll come back to the middle. Pause. Walk your hands forwards. Now, there's two options for this. We're leaning forwards with the torso. You can have your hands in front. Some people find having the hands behind, being on the fingertips and lifting the chest as you tilt forwards is more comfortable for the back. So if you tend to slouch or round in the low back, then this is the version for you. If you've got a pretty good range of motion, then the arms are in front to stop you spilling forwards too much. Take an inhale here. Through the nose, exhale. One more breath in. Breathing out. Walk your hands back up. Change which shin is in front. Same situation. So either the hands are behind, beside, or in front is the rule of thumb. Beside is for the middle of the road option, or in front. And then let the head heavy the tailbone, heavy the head, rounding in the spine. Feel where your feet are. Notice when the mind wanders off. Maybe press the outer edges of your feet into the ground and then use that to lengthen through the spine. Come back up. Let's take an arm up in the air. I'm going to let you decide which one. I'm not mirroring today. Take the arm up and go over. And again, this is just like when we were lying on our backs. You could reach straight up and just have a little bit, or you can go further over and you're going to plant that sitting bone into the ground as you reach through that arm. Extend through the arm strongly. Come back through the middle. Other side. Sweep the arm. It might just go straight up. This is entirely at your discretion. How much sensation do you want? Just remember to plug down through that opposite hip so that you're not tipping over completely. Stream the arm long. Maybe even turn the chest toward the ceiling a little bit and come back up. And then eagle arms. Take the arms wide. Right elbow underneath the left. You could touch opposite shoulders. You could bring the backs of the hands towards each other. If it's within your range of motion, you could double wrap the hands. But what's key is keep your fingers relaxed. No clenching of the face, the jaw, the hands. And then if you want a little bit more sensation, you're going to move your forearms, your elbows towards me, towards the screen. Hunch in the shoulders, round in the back. And then gently unfurl and give the shoulders a looping up and back. Other side, left elbow underneath. This time you could touch opposite shoulders. You might bring the backs of the hands towards each other, and maybe there's a double wrap. Maybe yes, maybe no. Breathing slowly. Let this be a really nurturing pace. Very, very calm. Breathe in. Let it out. And unfurl the arms, loop the shoulders up and back. And from here, onto the hands and knees. Hands are shoulder distance apart. Knees are hip distance apart. And a little bit of forward and back motion with the torso. So you're putting a bit more weight in your hands. If you're learning how to do arm balances and you're finding a big part of it is wrist strength, this is a really nice way to warm up the wrists before you start getting into putting more weight on them. You just ease into it, ease out. And what you'll notice, even if you're not getting into arm balances, you could store this for future information. As you move forwards and you move your shoulders beyond the wrist crease, you'll feel the tips of your fingers press into the ground more. And that's typically the feeling you'll get when you are stacking everything right above the hands, and that's when the balancing starts to happen. So there's no jumping into a pose. I will be teaching crow pose, and I'll look around to make sure none of my students are trying to propel themselves into the pose. As I point out, you don't want forward momentum when you're in crow. You want to be balanced, but it's very hard to jump into the pose and stop at the exact point of crow. Now draw maybe a figure of 8 with the hips and the shoulders. And again, this is just very gentle. If your wrists don't like it, you can make fists with your hands. So instead of having the palms flat, fists with the thumbs pointing forwards is a good alternative. But if it's okay for you, I want you to start pressing all the finger pads into the ground. And from here, tuck the toes under, scoot the hips up and back. And it's a downward facing dog. Let the head drop completely. Take the right leg up in the air. Reach it up. Bring the knee to the nose and step the foot through between the hands and help it get there. If you need to grab the ankle, help it forwards, do so. Back knee lowers down, back toe untucks. Walk your hands up to your front thigh. Reach the arms long. That's only if the balance is okay. So if you want to leave your hands on your front thigh and just let the hips sink, that's plenty. If you're looking for a little bit more, the arms can extend, but honestly, just do what's okay for you today. Reach the arms up, and then we're going to cactus the arms. I always love this phrase. So you take your forearms away from each other and pull the arms behind you, chest opener, back bend, chest opener, breathe in. Exhale, the hands go down. Let's step it back to downward facing dog and walk the feet on the spot. So you're getting into the backs of the legs, the calves. Left leg floats up in the air, reach it up and step the foot through between the hands. The back knee lowers to the ground. Untuck the toes, hands walk up to the front thigh. Also, if balance is not with it for you today, you can find an object nearby. I happen to have a large plant here, but you might grab a chair or a yoga block, and you can put the blocks under your hands to help with the balance. Allow the hips to sink. If you're in the mood for the arms coming up, you'll reach up with the arms. Huge stretch through that right thigh. Extend through the arms. And then cactus the arms. Bend the elbows, take the forearms away from each other and move them as far behind your peripheral vision as possible. Turn up the corners of the mouth. Big chest stretch. Exhale, let's tuck the back toe under, but this time step to the front. So the back knee lifts and then propel yourself forwards. Lift up halfway, lengthen the spine, slide the hands maybe all the way up to your knees, and then exhale, fold and allow the head to release. I'm not completely dropping my head. I have earbuds in. And take a moment here, sway side to side. The hamstrings may be protesting, but you might bend one knee and straighten the other. And then slowly roll up through your spine. Coming all the way up to stand, palms together in front of the chest. And you probably know where we're going from here. We'll reach the arms up. We'll take a side stretch. So take your feet hip distance apart. And a lot of people don't know what I mean. If you make two fists, and that's the gap between the inside of your feet, that's hip distance. So reach the arms up, right hand holds the left wrist, and then you'll lean up and over to your right. As you lean to your right, stamp the left foot into the ground. Come back. Left hand holds the right wrist. Same thing the other way. So stamp the right foot into the ground. Maybe even move your hips to the right slightly as you tug on that right arm, but you're leaning left. Return to the center position. Re-extend through the arms. Feel the feet on the ground, and then exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Plant the hands. Right foot goes back into a lunge. Right hand stays on the ground. Left hand comes to left hip. Pull the hip back. Turn the chest towards the front thigh. Keep the back thigh strong and lifting. So don't let the leg relax too much. Keep it lifting. You've got this. Turn the chest. Maybe you extend the upper arm. Inhale here. Exhale. Return the hand to the ground. Step it forwards. Other side, left leg goes back. Plant the left hand, take the right hand to the right hip, pull the hip back. As you pull the hip back, you start turning your chest towards that right wall. Slow, steady breath. Keep pressing that left hand into the mat, lifting in the back thigh. Breathing in, breathing out. Take the right arm, maybe it extends up, that's totally up to you. Exhale, take the hand back to the inside of the front foot. From here, turn to your left 90 degrees. If you've turned away from the screen and you need to swap around, swap yourself around, that's fine. When you arrive halfway, turn the toes slightly in and the heels slightly out. Inhale, come onto the fingertips, look forwards. Exhale, fold over the legs, head releases. Back into a seated position. That, my friends, is our 15-minute practice. Thank you for joining me. Please, if you have time for Shavasana, give yourself what I'm calling a power Shavasana. Lie on the ground like so until you feel the snow globe of your mind settle. I leave it at your discretion as to what amount of time that will take. Allow the body to be heavy on the ground. Feel the support of the ground and the mat. Maybe there's a bit of sunshine on you where you're practicing. You might be outside, or maybe there's a stream of sunlight through the window. And if so, feel that, feel the warmth of it. But I understand many people have things to do, and that's why the practice is short. Thank you for joining me, friends. Namaste.